We are back with a Fox News alert. Right now, the IDF is sending even more troops into southern Lebanon after Iran unleashed nearly 200 ballistic missiles on Israel yesterday.
Nate Foy, live on the ground in Tel Aviv with the latest. Nate.
Hey guys, good morning. So Israel and Hezbollah are continuing to exchange heavy fire across the border this morning, just one day after the biggest ballistic missile strike in history, a sign that the war continues. Just a really scary night last night across central and southern Israel as you see 180 ballistic missiles launched by Iran into Israel, many of them shot down by Israel's air defense and international partners in the region, including the United States. The big question here, guys, is what is Israel going to do in response to this? Several Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, say that Iran will pay a significant price for this. We know that 100 homes in a town north of Tel Aviv are damaged after being hit by falling shrapnel. The attack sent millions of people into bomb shelters, including one man that we talked to who was injured while fighting for the IDF in Gaza. Listen to this. What happened with your injury, how you lost the lower part of your leg?
Hamas terrorists shot on us an RPG, and I got injured. It's hard for me to look at because in time like this, it's very difficult to deal with my situation and my country's situation. So.
Yeah, and he said that he was so calm because he was so confident in the country's air defense. But check this out, guys. Literally minutes before Iran's attack, a terror attack happened in Jaffa in Tel Aviv. Two terrorists opened fire on Israelis riding the light rail train through the city. Listen to this.
When the train stopped and opened its doors, the terrorists walked inside, started firing their automatic weapons, walked back outside, and continued their killing spree.
Take a look at this new video from Beirut. Israel continued its airstrikes in the Dahia neighborhood overnight, targeting Hezbollah's weapons facilities. That's the same neighborhood where they took out Hassan Nasrallah in an airstrike on Friday. And as you mentioned, as Israel continues its limited ground offensive into southern Lebanon, they are calling up additional troops to supplement the ones already there this morning as we await Israel's response. And as we wait for that, Iran has already said that if Israel responds, then they will respond in turn. So it looks like we could have a couple busy days here. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Nate Foy, live for us in Tel Aviv. You are certainly right about that. Nate, thank you so much. Let's bring in Enia Krivine, who is currently in a safe room of her home as a result of yesterday's attack. She's also the senior director for the Defense of Democracies. Enia, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us following yesterday's events. We have a map that shows just how massive this barrage of incoming missiles was. I mean, it's the entire expanse of Israel where these missiles landed and the air defense systems took them out. So just want to get a sense of what this was like to live through. What did you see, hear, feel during this attack?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. So already on Monday, people in Israel were hearing that there were rumors coming out of the U.S. administration that Iran might be considering an attack in the coming days. And then, of course, on Tuesday afternoon, yesterday afternoon, my kids came home from school and they were hanging around the house. And I started seeing language coming out of the Israeli media, which I've learned to recognize as kind of, brace yourself. Essentially, the guidance from Homeland Security said in certain areas, you can only gather up to so many people, stay close to your shelters. And then the language from the media started changing. And, the media plays a huge role when they have these attacks, which we've seen a couple times from Iran. There was one in April, and then, of course, the one yesterday. And the media starts saying things like, be calm. If there's a siren, go calmly to your shelter. Don't run. They remind people that most of the injuries happen on the way to the shelter. So at that point, I told my kids to stay close to the house. Daniel Hagari, the IDF spokesperson, came on the air and said, look, we're hearing rumors. We think something's coming, but there's nothing in the air right now. In other words, stay calm, proceed as normal. I started putting my kids to bed. And then just as we were sort of getting into the nighttime routine, my husband said, okay, time to get in the safe room. We all came downstairs, piled into the safe room, brought the dog in, and turned the news on and just saw this barrage, this unprecedented barrage of ballistic missiles over Israel's capital, Jerusalem, and Tel Aviv. Those were where the primary images were coming in from.
What a thing to live through. And we're looking at images of the Iron Dome, the defense systems taking out some of those ballistic missiles. Israelis are used to living through these types of things, but even this attack, the largest from Iran, is a historic event. So now Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, we're hearing from him directly, he is vowing retaliation. And there are those, and you could put many in the Biden administration in this camp, who fear that retaliation will lead to escalation. And then others are saying peace through strength. Israel is in this unique window of time where they could destabilize Iran to the point of change. So what do you think about that? What will and what needs to take place moving forward?
So it's hard to predict the future, but I can say from Israel's perspective, Iran has been making a race towards a nuclear weapon for several years. And it's only because of Israel's efforts, some in cooperation with the US, that it hasn't got there yet. It hasn't achieved this nuclear weapon. Of course, none of Israel's adversaries currently have the ability to destroy the Jewish state with conventional means. There's no military that's going to show up on Israel's borders and destroy the country. Israel has the qualitative military edge, largely thanks to its strategic alliance with the US. But that is where terror comes in. And right now, Iran's strategy for decades has been to surround Israel with Iranian proxies and to try to make life unlivable. And that is where the heart of the October 7th attack, that is what Hezbollah has been doing to Israel's north for the past year. And that is what Iran continues to attempt to do. So if this escalates, Israel's already said that Israel intends to retaliate, a significant retaliation for yesterday's barrage. Keep in mind that these ballistic missiles, some of them are as big as buses, right? So you have 180 essentially explosive-laden buses falling from the sky. It's a miracle that no one was killed. One person, a Palestinian, ironically, was killed in the West Bank, but no one in Israel was injured from the attack.
Yeah.
So this is a significant attack, and it deserves a significant response, and that's what Israel is now promising. And it's even saying that if it continues to escalate, that nothing is off the table, and Iran's nuclear program might be in Israel's sights.
Right, yeah. And Israel right now is fighting a three-front war. Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis in Yemen. You weaken one of them, you weaken the whole regime, and that is Israel's goal. Enia, thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad that you're safe. We appreciate your insight, as always. Thank you. Todd, over to you.